If I'm doing the math right, so like $1 million firm, going back to your 100-day lockup,
Yeah.
like $1 million firm basically has a quarter at any given time on average, an average firm has a $250,000 of, potential cash
Getting
that's sort
there.
of locked up in the future somewhere. It's probably not realistic to bill every day and get paid that day, but there's a lot you could do with $250,000 more in the bank
I
without
think that
doing any more legal work.
anything, right? Yeah. The easiest cash on the planet is getting paid for the work you've already done, right? And so there's this sort of because we don't look at it, even as a business owner in the accounting and finance world, we're subscription based, so that is easier for me. I just things pop up when the credit card fails, right? It is a different business model than the average
Mhm.
law firm, and so I have the luxury of not worrying about that. But that's why the big flat fee conversation, obviously the implications of AI and just all of those things, the death of the billable hour is being thrown around, but has been thrown around for a
I
really
want to
long
hit
time
that,
too.
yeah, with
Yeah,
you
we'll get there.
at the end.
And let's say the improvement on the consequences of the billable hour is how I think about it. We could zoom in more on that soon, but yeah, you nailed it. $250,000 just setting in the wind. What does that mean for your firm or a quarter of your annual revenue, right? Think of it that
Mhm.
way. Whoever's listening to this, whatever your number is, how much is that and what does that represent to your firm? And that goes back to what are your goals, right? Why are you doing this, right? Because so far as I can tell you, in almost a decade in, running a business is the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. The romance of it is interesting. I have authority issues. I guess I was destined for this. I'm a really bad employee. I think that's true of a ton of attorneys I work with and other entrepreneurs I partner with. But dude, it's the hardest thing. This kills you. It's so stressful and you have to make so many sacrifices to do this. And there are obviously plenty of pros too. I'm not about to say because I wouldn't go back either, right? So there's reasons for that. But if you're doing one of the hardest things I think there is, right, in terms of like what you're doing day in and day out, you need to make sure it's serving you, right? The businesses that we build should serve us, not the other way around. We shouldn't be chained to them, right? Like some
Yeah.
servant to the business. You created it. So there's all kinds of other lines that we could talk about there, but I think go back to why, right? That famous kind of quote, like start with, go back to why, and then just make sure that we're setting up our business to achieve those things.